Hi, my name is Jessica Stevens, and I was awarded the Toshiba America Foundation grant for the 2021-2022 school year. I teach ninth grade environmental science at Gary Comer College Prep High School, located in the Greater Grand Crossing neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. Comer High School, fondly known as GCCP, is part of the Noble Network of Charter Schools. We serve approximately 845 students who we seek to support as they develop into well-rounded college graduates. As a science department at GCCP, we strive to give our students the opportunities they need to develop their critical thinking skills to successfully pursue a STEM-related major in college. After graduation, we hope that they are able to confidently engage in civic and cultural affairs through informed decision making. To make this vision a reality, I try to make my curriculum as student-centered as possible. During class, we investigate environmental problems and develop evidence-based solutions. As climate change is one of the most pressing issues of our time, I have really begun evaluating and retooling my climate change and air pollution unit to really reflect situations my students face in their day-to-day lives. I was fortunate enough to work with Dr. Alice Dowdy at the University of Maine School of Earth and Climate Sciences to create a series of lessons rooted in the student experience. We investigated topics like Chicago's heat island effect. Students took an inventory of the green spaces around their homes while they monitored temperatures and then compared those temperatures to the concentrations of buildings and roads to form an evidence-based claim between the relationship of urban areas and heat-related deaths. Focusing on this more, our curriculum really was centered on how climate change and different kinds of pollution could affect students' health and the health of their community. While my students showed high engagement during these activities and demonstrated growth over the next generation science standards, I felt I could do more to push them in their pursuit of scientific inquiry. Often in high school science courses, students spend the majority of their time analyzing data someone else has collected, and I wanted to empower my students to use technology and scientific equipment to gather their own data. Therefore, I applied for the Toshiba America grant to purchase air quality sensors for students to use to investigate the air pollutants in the immediate vicinity of our school. With the Toshiba America grant, I was able to purchase 6 gas labs air quality sensors, and these sensors measure concentrations of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, both 2.5 particulate matter and size 10 particulate matter, as well as the ambient temperature and humidity. And we use these sensors to conduct a month-long study in the school's courtyard. I found that this was a novel experience for a lot of students because for them, they used very typical, simple scientific equipment within the classroom, and experiments or labs were done within the course of 1 class period, maybe 2. And this longer, drawn out, multiple data gathering such type of experiment was completely new to them. It gave me a lot of joy to see my classes really getting into working with these scientific instruments that were way more complex than anything they had seen before. And they took pride in using them correctly. And I saw a lot of growth in terms of independent learning and peer-to-peer collaboration. During this experiment, students worked with their peers. They assigned group roles, accurately corrected data, and recorded their information properly in an experimental notebook that they were responsible for. Often, once everyone was comfortable using the sensors, I was able to just step back and have purely a supervisor role. I rarely, if ever, did I have to step in to provide support because my students always beat me to it, happily helping out one of their classmates with reminding them of how to use the equipment properly or proper lab procedures and even proper lab etiquette. And it was just really nice to see that kind of accountability and advocacy for themselves and each other going on without any kind of prompting from me. Once we had gathered multiple weeks of data, students collaborated on a final lab report. They created visual data sets using Google Sheets, further incorporating technology into the classroom. We compared the trends between temperature and carbon dioxide and got a real-life example of our classroom investigations into the causes and effects of climate change. Also, after doing research on the effects of air pollution on human health, we were able to form another final conclusion, and we were very happy to report that based on the air quality index, students at Gary Comer College Prep High School breathe in air that is not considered to be a health hazard. And they did a wonderful job with trying to analyze their own findings and really trying to communicate it. And I could tell there was like a different sense of investment than in a regular high school lab experience. In fact, and one of the great things about teaching is how often your students surprise you. My students recommended that I give them the chance to create little how-to videos for the freshmen next year so they could learn to use the air quality sensors more easily. And I'd like to share one of them with you. So they were really excited about getting to make their own videos and overall did a fantastic job, especially all on their own. So overall, the pilot run of the air quality investigation went very well, but of course I have some improvements I would like to employ for next year. Next year, students will compare the data they collect around our school to the air quality found in other neighborhoods in the city to see if there is a correlation between air quality and socioeconomic factors. Also, we're going to research the health hazards again, but we're going to look at historic data from rates of asthma and air quality over many years and see if Chicago's air quality is improving. And if students find something they are not happy with in terms of air quality and the subsequent effects that would be a problem for them later in life with their health, we can use our evidence to write a letter to a local official as possible first steps for my students into advocacy within their community. I was very glad to have this opportunity to share with my students and be able to have these tools to support my students for years to come. Thank you very much.